Dun dun do 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 do. Dun dun do 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 do.
That still sounds pretty good.
3 guys and a bear are ready to talk draft. And now here's Coach Crandor. Do 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 do. And Rob from a terrible tin can microphone. Burp.
I'm trapped in a tin can. Oh no!
Crandor said he was coming to us from Ventrilo in 2006, and I think that's probably the most apt metaphor possible.
Yeah, I think Ventrilo's. I think it's pretty accurate. I remember those days because everyone had like headset mics. That's all you had.
Exactly. If you didn't have a $15 headset mic, you had no mic.
Yeah.
As long as Rob didn't go all the way back to the Roger Wilco days, I think we'll be fine after that.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
I mean, that'd be pretty sick, though, right? Like, what if that's how you had to talk on Discord? Is like you'd have to be like over
walkie-talkies.
Mm-hmm. That would probably help us with like the pacing of our show to be able to know when to talk over people.
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah. That's no fun.
Hey, Bear's back. Hi, Bear.
I'm here. Hey, I'm here to talk the draft. I'm so excited about it. I still really like football. I'm totally into it.
Yeah, we thought you went crazy the last couple shows you weren't here, and it turns out you did.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I did. Completely. Whatever you were speculating about me, it was probably pretty accurate.
I mean, if we go back in time, there was a time where you were like, do you really think Tom Brady is going to leave the Patriots?
I know, and I was really sure of it, and then he did. And then I lost my will to follow football.
Yeah.
Well, Bear, you can always come over to Tampa. We'd love to have you. And
I think I've got to spend at least a year rooting for the Bucs just for the sheer that's my story arc now. I guess I didn't really have a big part in that, but I guess that's where we're headed.
And we'll have a meme for the podcast, right? Because we'll have like 2 guys rooting for the same team for different reasons, really.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
we'll see if the Patriots just end up being the heel for everybody. Maybe I'll join the light side finally.
Oh, that'd be nice. I mean, although, like, if the Patriots just like turned out to be like, if they just like go back to being the Patriots that they were pre-Belichick,
well, that's just gonna be ridiculous, dude. I don't even know what to say at that point. That just seems that doesn't even seem fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what the hell happens at that point.
I might think we're cheating if that happens. Like, I wouldn't have an explanation for it.
That's coming from a Patriots fan.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because they're definitely not. They're not gonna be the same. This is reminiscent of the Bulls in the '90s, right? Like Michael Jordan, all of them retire, and then, I know what happens after that as someone who was on the front lines of seeing that happen. It's not going to be good. It's not.
I have a bit of I think that people are sleeping on the idea that, or they're thinking that, the Patriots are, they're Garbo now. They don't have Tom Brady, right? I mean, I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, the past 2 seasons in New England, he hasn't had like great seasons. I mean, they were good. I mean, they weren't Tom Brady seasons. They were probably like top 10, top 15 QB seasons, probably. Right. But like they're gonna go from a top 10, top 15 QB to like a top 20 QB, maybe a top 40 or something. Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big difference.
It's gonna be bad, and I think it'll be bad probably mostly for this year. But like, it's still Bill Belichick,
Also, it's a bit ironic. It's like a thunderstorm just started outside. I feel like the gods are like speaking to the Patriots.
Gods, yeah.
I mean, they knew that this had to be coming for a while now. They have contingency plans. If any team is prepared to move on without somebody who's been an integral part of the team, it's going to be the Patriots. Not saying that to patronize Bear, but I'd love to have you in Tampa either way.
Well, dude, at the same time, this is a completely unprecedented thing. I mean, like Tom Brady spent 20 fucking years in England with the same head coach and owner for that entire period. That is pretty much like unheard of in major sports.
Yeah, that was a big thing they kept going over on ESPN. They're like, did you know Antoine Winfield Jr. was just drafted, got a pick thrown to him by Tom Brady in 2000? Like he's played with these people's fathers.
Yeah.
It's insane. He's still going.
Yeah, just be glad that you didn't have to root for Tampa back in our Jameis Winston days. Now you can root against him when we play him in the Saints.
Yeah, he'll just be riding the bench though, is the only difference.
Yeah, he'll never touch the football again.
Well, the big thing I think with the Patriots too is like they haven't just lost Tom Brady. They've lost like looking at everybody. There's Van Noy, there's Gostkowski, Nick Folk. So the kickers are gone. You lost Jamie Collins, Philip Dorsett. I don't know if Dorsett, but
full rebuild.
Yeah, they've lost a lot of defenders.
Yeah. It sucks, and I don't care as much anymore. I know I keep beating that drum, dude. I'm sorry, but it's just like this is the nail in the coffin, I suppose. Or that's not the expression, but like this is apparently what it took for me to just realize that my interest lied in particular people and not the team, mostly.
What are you, a bandwagoner?
A bandwagoner.
Yeah.
Can you even like call like is it conceivable to even call a Patriots fan like a fair weather fan? I mean, it's been 20 years of fair weather, right?
Maybe that was some pretty good weather over the past couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're a Patriots fan, like that's just you experience fair weather, like that's fine. Like I don't think,
especially if you're my age.
I imagine there are,
especially if you're my age. That's all you.
Right? Yeah.
Dude's first football game he ever watched was Tom Brady's debut.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was insane.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
It
but
mostly explains my connection to the man, honestly.
Yeah.
I know that people are expecting a lot of bits surrounding Tampa and Brady and me and Bear, but I made the decision a while ago that I wasn't going to do that because A, I mean, we don't really rib on each other that much, and B, I know that it was important to.
Hey, fuck you, Sinvicta.
I wouldn't do that. I already talked to Bear. I wouldn't do that to you.
It meant a lot to me, man. Yeah,
I know.
I know. I'm a sensitive boy.
Yeah, and I think I was saying before, but it'll be fun having two Buccaneers fans here for different reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bears rooting for Brady, Gronk, and then Sinvicta's just rooting for the Bucks to not be bad.
And you talk about unprecedented times here, brother. You're talking about the entire NFL buying out the season tickets for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers one season after we couldn't even sell out.
I can be excited for you. I mean, shit, this is a super team y'all are building over there.
I can't wait. I've never seen the Bucs make actual moves that like are exciting and make sense. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Somebody pinch me. This must be a dream.
And the NFL season is canceled.
Yep. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. I already called that one a while ago. I already know that I know where this train's heading.
Yeah. Well, it'll still be fun to have all this stuff happening, even if it takes a bit longer. Or if you got to play in front of nobody, which again many teams do anyway.
Yeah.
So we had a draft, and it was a virtual draft. And I don't know how much of the draft you guys watched, but
0.
All right, good.
A little bit.
A little bit. Well, we all had issues that made it so we couldn't live stream it, so that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I was able to just sit and watch it, and I watched a lot of it, more than I should have. And it actually went pretty all right. Not gonna lie.
Although it was like pretty Black Mirror-y when they had the quote unquote fans behind.
Oh,
Roger
yeah, that was
Goodell as
weird.
he tried to awkwardly make jokes.
The worst part is they tried to make it like that was live, and you knew those were just recorded clips of like people that they like sent in. So you're not gonna have like some guy up there. Yeah, he's gonna give you the finger or some shit.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
it was what, like 50 million people watching the draft? You can't put random people on their lives. That's just not. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, they'll like
Especially
pull
if
their
they're in
pants
own
down.
home.
Yeah. So Roger Goodell in his basement that looked like, normal people's entire houses.
Right? Yeah.
But it was cool seeing a lot of the like coaches and stuff, right? Like Andy Reid was just like in a Hawaiian shirt and like some office. And you had
Yeah,
like
Andy
Cliff
Reid was-
Kingsbury who's like in a mansion in Arizona with like
Yeah. What the fuck was that about?
yeah.
He lives in Jeff Bezos's house. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, he's like,
I
this
gotta
is
be a
my
college
like
coach.
yeah, he's got like a modern fireplace and like a football field outside with like a mountain view. It's like, what is he like in a virtual reality himself?
It's insane.
It was their only opportunity to flex on the entire NFL viewing population.
Yeah.
But most of the other people is just like them in like a home office and they're like family or their kids, which sometimes they'd be like, they'd make a pick and they'd be like, yeah, and like high five their kids and hug everyone. I'm like, kids don't give a shit. Right? They're just like, go hug your dad, fucking hug your dad.
Time to hug.
Hug your dad.
And you can see the
Appreciate
kids
your
are
trust
like,
fund now.
like you'd see the kids that didn't want to be there, like the one kid, the Bengals coach, Ryan something. His one daughter is there. She's just holding the like tiger, like she was just like not wanting to be there. Then the mom was like, "Oh, let me take the tiger," and she's like, like is about to cry, and she's like, "Nope, don't cry on TV. Don't cry on TV." So it's fun. I like seeing all that. And then
I like watching people cry.
it's every year for the Jets.
Right, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And,
The thing I linked was, in my opinion, the best part of the draft, which
All
was that Bill Belichick dog temporarily.
Oh yeah.
yeah, Belichick's dog.
What?
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, so Belichick's dog pretty much took over a seat, and so then when they cut back to Belichick, it was just his dog at the computer.
Oh yeah. I did see that Rob linked. That's right. Yeah, that was great.
And they titled him Bill Belichick head coach. It's so good.
Yeah, it's
The draft
honestly.
sounded- I mean, everything I've heard so far, it sounded like it was reeking with boomer humor, except for like the randomness that
Yeah, I mean,
that showed up.
Yeah,
the dogs are good. Dogs will always be good. They'll always make me smile. They're all good boys.
I did see the clips of the mom, like one of the picks. I don't know who it was, but one of the picks' girlfriend, like I guess, tried to take the
CeeDee Lamb.
spotlight. Yeah, and the mom was like, "Yeah, I'm having none of that."
Oh wait, no, that was I think it was Isaiah Wilson, and like
whoever it was.
she like pulled her off or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, she was trying to like muscle in there and get on the camera. It was pretty freaking obvious. And the mom was like, "Yeah, that's not happening."
Yeah,
I'm sure that was a fun conversation for later.
I know. No, the other one I was thinking of was CeeDee Lamb. His like girlfriend like tried to take
Checking
his
the
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she like yanked it away, and everyone's like, what's he looking at? Oh Jesus, that's lightning.
Oh,
and- yeah, that was lightning. Again, that's CeeDee Lamb being smited from the sky. Oh my god, that's what I wanted to bring up. The amount of times that they brought up shit. There's like, and CeeDee Lamb who will be drafted. This is a special day for him. His father committed suicide, and his brother was struck by lightning. It's just like, what? Like they
Real
did
special
that.
day, Tom. Real special day.
Yeah.
They did that like every other pick.
Every pick, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I actually like that's one of the reasons that I kind of had to like tune out the draft was that the only discussion was like, hey, here's some misery that this player experienced. Don't you want to hear about that?
Shit's inspiring. No one is inspired by these fucking stories. They're just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like in between that, it would be Roger Goodell talking about how he's how his multi-billion-dollar company is doing nothing for coronavirus victims.
Yeah.
It's it's the same logic that mainstream media has. Is like they catch someone whose house was just like torched, something. So
Yeah.
your house just burned down. How does it make you feel today? How's your day going?
Here's
How do you think?
Especially to bring it up to him, man. Yeah, like don't talk to the kid about his father's suicide.
In
like,
front of
how is
millions of
that not
people?
rule
Yeah.
number one when you're doing the fucking pregame about how do you talk to these kids that are being drafted? Okay, what's the first thing we don't do is ask them about parents that have killed themselves, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
right. Bradley
In front of,
Chubb,
step one.
Bradley Chubb
Millions.
tweeted about it. He said, "I understand everybody has a story and motivation, but ESPN doesn't have to highlight the worst moment that happens in some of these folks' lives. Am I tripping?"
Yeah, dude, that's pretty
In
much
front of
it.
millions of people. Like no one would have ever known or cared about that.
Yeah.
Imagine like your high school graduation. They're just like, his father died of heart failure.
Yeah, just like every time you accomplish anything.
Yeah.
I just picture it. It's the perfect graduation ceremony. Every new person that steps on the stage, and here comes Betty Wilson, and her mother committed suicide. Congrats, we're rooting for you.
It's just miserable by like the sixth person.
And here comes
Oh, John Holmes.
here comes John Johnson, and he ate puppies. Welcome.
Please.
Oh, and here's
Stop doing
Melinda
this.
Smith. She was molested 4 times. Wow, that's so many. Like, all right, we
Jerry
get it.
Lewis here. It seems that his father was an alcoholic and threw his mother into a meat grinder.
Oh, and here's Timmy Johnson. His father was a Jets fan. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's too far.
You put a
That's
pin in
rough.
the bit. You did it pretty good. That's fine.
Thank you.
Here
Um,
comes Mike Sway. His mother drowned all 4 of his siblings, but
No!
Mike made it. Good job, Mike. He was the only
So-
one living.
Here's
Did a
some
good
actual ones they used. T. Higgins, mom Camilla fought drug addiction for 16 years. LaVisca Chenault, mother Annie contracted and survived West Nile virus. Hey, she survived it, so that's good. Trevon Diggs, father Aaron died of heart failure, but his brother plays with the Bills.
Is that actually just like a list of the different stories that they told or something?
It's just got the actual like thing they put on TV. It has hometown, Gaithersburg, Maryland. Father Aaron died of heart failure. Brother Stefan, Bills wide receiver, first NFL game attended, Minneapolis Miracle. Wow. Neat. So it's, great job, ESPN. Probably dial it back a bit there. And by dial it back, I mean eliminate that altogether.
Here's Valdez Scantling. He wets the bed every single night. He got drafted today.
It's like I just don't understand. Like I think they're trying to get sympathy. It's like people are watching this to escape, right? Like you're trying to watch this to escape, and you have to be like, here's a sob story just because we want more money.
Nah, dude. Yeah, like if you've ever watched a cooking show on cable television or any like reality TV that involves some sort of a contest, that's exactly what they do. Like every single time they introduce someone, like you can watch. I would like watch an episode of Chopped, and then there's like a 10-minute monologue in the beginning about how this chef is their father died in the war, and then their mother went to find their father in the war, and she died too, and it was really sad. And so they're fighting they're fighting for their lives over the $5,000 that we decided to put up. And it's just like it's a reality TV thing where they try to monetize misery basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
It's,
like
I think
gross.
Yeater Gross Matos had the craziest one. There's legit his brother cared for him until 4 years later when he drowned, but his father died the following week. Luckily, he's adopted by his new family who was struck by lightning. It's some crazy shit like that, and I was like, what? I saw somebody was like, dude, I think this guy's cursed. I don't know why we're picking him.
Yeah, seriously.
That's just all you gotta do is just put up some fun facts. That's all you gotta do.
This was the first draft that I've seen that went pretty much by the book for the first 10 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody.
It really did. Yeah, it was Joe Burrow into the Bengals. You had Chase Young Redskins, Jeff Okuda Lions. You had Andrew Thomas to the Giants, Tua to the Dolphins. Look at that. They didn't even have to tank that hard.
Yeah.
And Herbert to the
By the way,
Chargers.
it turned out the same, right? Where I think I said this a couple episodes back, where we were saying that we needed to suck for Sam, and then we didn't get into position to get Sam Darnold, and then they were saying tank for Tua, and they didn't get into the position for Tua, and they got Tua as well.
It's true. The AFC East magic for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The Chargers take Justin Herbert. So that'll be interesting. Panthers, Derek Brown. Cardinals, Isaiah Simmons. Jaguars, C.J. Henderson. And the Browns took Jedrick Willis. And then the New York Jets.
New York Jets, coach.
The New York Jets.
So there was a lot of ways the Jets could have went here. They could have taken wide receiver. They could have taken offensive line. They could have been dumb and taken not those things. But
that's
they
what we would have
did.
done if we had Mike McCagnon. We probably would have been like, oh yeah, let's get our 17th interior defensive lineman. He's a can't miss prospect, guys. Best player available. No, this whole draft, I am very pleased with.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. To put it into perspective,
Now you know we're living in the upside down.
No.
So to put it into perspective, why I'm pleased, okay? So Joe Douglas in his first draft has drafted two offensive players in the first 2 rounds or the first 100 picks or something like that, right?
Yeah.
In his first draft. Mike McCagnon did 3 over 4 years. So I'm pretty pumped to see that he's already in there and ready to actually commit draft capital to the offense. And we picked up Mekhi Becton, who the Jets subreddit was a little bit salty about at first, but then again, they were also mostly yelling at each other about whether or not we should get a wide receiver. And I gotta say, I'm really glad that Joe Douglas has my line of thinking. I mean, he was also an offensive lineman, but where it's like, no, O-line first, because you can pick up wide receiver talent in the second round. I mean, if you look at the top wide receivers in the league, statistically speaking, half of them are from the first round. If it's probably even less than that. So it's you don't need to go wide receiver in the first round. Now, with that said, there were some good guys in there this year, but I'm pretty happy with who we got, because I don't know if you guys saw this dude, but he's 6'8", 370 pounds.
Fuck.
Oh yeah.
He's Becton?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's the Jolly Green Giant. He's enormous, and
they showed him pushing a truck up a hill.
Yeah. And the thing about him, right, is that it's not just that he's a giant mass of muscle. It's also that he's really agile. He's the first O lineman, or I think the first NFL player to run a 5'1" 40 at 300 plus pounds.
He's almost 400.
Yeah, he's 370. He's 364 or something is what I think he was weighed at the combine. So
yeah, he's an absolute beast,
monster.
If Wirfs didn't go to the Colts or the Niners, which is what I originally thought they would, because I wasn't expecting the Bucs to trade up for him, then I was wanting either Becton or Wirfs, either one.
Yeah.
But Becton is an absolute monster.
Yeah, he seems like a beast. Now I've heard him described as kind of boomer busty, because apparently it's technique is not all the way there for him, but he's also an offensive lineman, and that's fairly common now these days, that coming out of college they don't have the technique because they're not getting taught it in the spread systems, because they don't really need to.
The only worry about him is just that height isn't always necessarily a good thing for a lineman, and they're very prone to getting their legs either chopped out or falling backwards on somebody who they either can't see or is just so small that it doesn't even register. But he's got the thing is like for him is that he's got like a ton of power.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very easily coachable. So it's just for him his height's not necessarily an advantage, but all that said, the dude is an absolute like beast, and he's gonna he would play on any team.
Oh
in the
yeah.
NFL.
Yeah. I mean, he's still going 11th overall, and if he didn't go there, he would have went like right after that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that's probably why you guys traded up to or why whoever traded up to get Wirfs, because
it was through the Bucks got Wirfs through the Colts, which was they got them they got Wirfs from the Colts through the Niners, basically.
Right.
And
right, yeah.
I was stoked because I was like, holy crap, that's an actual move that I wanted to see. I didn't want, obviously they weren't going to go quarterback, but I didn't want a wide receiver. I didn't want a running back. We needed, if we weren't going to go defense, it had to be offensive line. That was the only acceptable spot for the Bucks to draft, and they draft straight it up. It was top two. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I watched it live, but out of the two that were available that I was hoping that we would get, if we went for O-line, it was either going to be Tristan Wirfs or Becton. And I'm happier with Wirfs if I'm honest. I think that he's got more of an upside in the NFL, and I think he's just an overall better blocker. But I would have been happy with either way though. And I was more surprised and happy that not only did the Bucks draft what they needed to draft, but they traded up for it. They made solid decisions. I mean, the Bucks are just they're scoring points all over the place right now, and it's great.
Dude, that's the other thing about this draft is I'm not just happy because of who we picked. I'm also happy with how Joe Douglas played the draft. He traded pretty much after the first round, he traded down almost every pick. So we gained so much capital from the right moves, and we ended up getting guys that were probably pretty high up on our board, dudes that dropped that probably shouldn't have. We got Denzel Mims, the wide receiver, and we got him pretty fucking late. We got really lucky getting that fucking guy as late as we did.
He was projected to go earlier. I know that.
Yeah. So we were doing that the whole draft. He was bouncing all around, trading up and down. He was looking like Belichick a little bit. And I was pretty happy about that, to be honest with you. So I
And the Packers got love, coach.
Yeah. Well, topping out the Jets draft, so it was Becton, Mims, Ashton Davis, a safety, Jabari Zuniga, a edge rusher out of Florida.
Yeah, so the Ashton Davis, the safety that we got, apparently is another one that was on a lot of people's steal list. So apparently he's very good. I don't know. Hopefully that's true.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, right.
And Zuniga. And then Lamical Perrine. I don't know how you say that one.
LaMichael, I think.
LaMichael, okay. James Morgan, quarterback.
Yep.
Cameron Clark, offensive guard. Bryce Hall, corner. Braden. Yep.
So Bryce Hall's another one who apparently was also a big steal in the draft. So we got him in the fifth round, right? Fourth or fifth?
Fifth round.
Yeah. So apparently a year ago he was projected to be a first round pick, but what happened was he came back for his senior year and then got injured, so he just dropped a bunch. So there's the potential that Bryce Hall might be a first rounder that we got for a fifth, so that's pretty good. Yeah,
that is really nice as long as he comes over that injury and rebounds.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that the test came through well, so that's why they drafted him. But
yeah,
or at least well enough because he still dropped. So
yeah, Braden Mann, Hunter.
Yep.
I mean,
apparently he was like a statistical beast in college.
Yeah, so. I mean, when you hit the sixth round, screw it, you can take a punter or whatever. And then the trade to the Colts, where they traded their 7th rounder for corner Quincy Wilson, a 2nd-round bust over 3 seasons. But, I mean, you're taking a 1-year flyer on him for a 7th rounder, so whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and it might just be like a cap thing.
Yeah.
But and one other thing about our draft, we also got the undrafted free agents. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to announce the Jets have acquired Lamar Jackson.
All right.
I'm not kidding. We have Lamar Jackson on our roster right now from an undrafted free agency.
Yeah, I think he's a corner, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, fuck.
I know, right?
It's like the Bears signed Khalil Mack's brother. So now they have 2 Macks. But he is an undrafted free agent, so I mean.
Yeah, that had to be a novelty pick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're kind of novelty signings a little bit.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they work out, and if they don't, he got a little hype out of it.
Overall, Rob, what would you give your New York Jets for the draft score?
Draft,
report
honestly,
card?
Probably A. I'm like at solid A territory for the Jets. Like they did pretty much. I mean, you guys heard all of my concerns about the draft.
Yeah.
He alleviated every single one. I wanted us to go offense early. I want us to trade back and accrue capital. I want us to build through the draft. Like he did all of those things. Like this was exactly how I want a New York Jets draft to play out. So I'm very happy with it.
We do still have the same Rob, right? This is Rob Alpaca Patrol.
Oh, well, I should mention that the Jets are gonna suck balls next year, so it ultimately doesn't matter, but I'm still positive about the draft and the direction that we're headed. So
I mean, hey, they'll actually be able to compete with the Bills for the division.
Yeah, except the thing is, we're playing against the Niners, the Chiefs, the Ravens, our next season. Our next season's pretty much fucked. Like we've got 5 guaranteed losses. So yeah, I mean it doesn't matter what we draft. But in a year where we're probably not going to compete, it's great to be trading back and accruing capital though. So
yeah. Well, at least if you're better than whatever the Jets were last season, I think that's a competitive team. Even if you lose, but it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I'm gonna be real sad if we don't have a football season this year.
Yeah, that would be sad.
That would be a bummer.
So the Buccaneers, talk a little more about them. They got Tristan Wirfs, so they're protecting Brady.
Yep.
They got safety Antoine Winfield Jr. His dad was very good, and he's apparently very good as well. So, pretty good pick there. Kashawn Vaughn, running back.
Yeah, I love his name. I can't wait to be saying his name.
That is a great name. Keyshawn Vaughn.
Keyshawn Vaughn.
A wide receiver, Tyler Johnson. So, adding to the weapons.
Yeah, and I honestly was pretty happy about that we're looking at the future for the receiving core because, I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, you got to say Mike Evans is he's starting to get to the twilight years in the next couple of years. So we're going to need some sort of backup plan, and I'm glad that the Bucs are making smart picks. I'm really excited for Khalil Davis, though.
Oh yeah, Khalil Davis.
I think that was a steal for what he could possibly do for the D line. Like, I'm stoked. I'm stoked to see him grow.
Yeah, I mean, usually in the 6th and 7th rounds, when you take D line, and you take them for potential picks, they have a lot of stuff there, but they just need to get trained up.
Yeah. Khalil Davis was someone who if you remember it, whenever he was essentially whenever I would on the off chance that I would actually watch a college game, which was every now and then, every single time watching him play for Nebraska was yeah, it's Davis. I'm looking forward to it. I think that he's going to be he and Tyler Johnson both have me excited for the future for the Bucs.
Yeah.
Dude, the site keeps popping up with a video and I hate it.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, Buccaneers are actually looking like they got a fun football team. Who would have thought?
A football team in Tampa, coach.
And then Chappelle Russell and Raymond Calais, 7th rounders that'll probably be gone, but maybe not. So
Yeah, I don't really care about either.
I mean,
the
you're probably
Patri-
also, by the way, you're probably also getting wide receivers because, like, Godwin is good. So,
yeah,
mathematically speaking, you probably, no matter what, you probably don't get to keep both of them, money wise. Evans and Godwin ultimately.
Well, Chris Godwin will be going before Mike Evans.
Oh, really?
That's what I would assume. Because Mike Evans, he's basically an institutional man at this point for Tampa. So the fact that I would be shocked if Chris Godwin weren't looking to like branch out.
Yeah.
Before Mike Evans does. I think that now that we have something for Mike, I think that he's going to be more satisfied. And let's face it, anyone's going to be happier that they don't have Jameis Winston maybe throwing to them or maybe to the other team. And Godwin had a standout season last season, and that was with Jameis. So like, what the Tampa Bay receiving corps is going to do with someone like Brady, like at the helm, is going to be unbelievable. And what's even scarier is that I'm not going to insinuate that it's going to be as good as Belichick and Brady, but you got to remember as well, like this is like almost a dream scenario for someone like Bruce Arians, who is widely considered to be one of the top quarterback coaches like in the NFL. So them putting their two minds together is going to be something neat. And it might be like a discount, like Crown Soda brand Brady Belichick joint going on, but hey, it's the only one that we got in the South, and I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be fun.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
I guess go Bucks.
Yeah.
Well, the Patriots drafted. They drafted a lot of defense. Oddly enough, they took Kyle Duggar, safety. Josh Uche, linebacker.
You got a kicker.
He did get a kicker. Hold on, we'll get there. Anthony Jennings, linebacker, Alabama, is pretty good. Devin Asiasi, UCLA tight end. Dalton Keene, tight end, Virginia Tech. Kicker, Justin Rohrwasser.
Rohrwasser.
That's a metal name right there, Bear.
Oh, yeah.
That is a great kicker name.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Michael Onwenu, offensive guard. Justin Heron, guard. And the Cash Maluya, linebacker.
No, his name is Cash Moolah, as far as I'm concerned.
Cash Moolah.
Cash Moolah.
Yeah, Cash Moolah. And Dustin Woodard, offensive lineman, center. So, offensive linemen, linebackers, and a kicker and tight ends is what the Patriots went with, which, I think is and a safety. But overall, I think Belichick knows you got to build from the lines, and then you work your way outward.
Yeah.
I'm worried that Bill Belichick is thinking
That he's thinking
this year to get fucking what's his face next year.
Oh,
Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm worried about that. But I think that draft shows like that it definitely is like full rebuild. Like it's gonna take a year or two before the Patriots are like, ready to go. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably going to be starting this kicker, and these tight ends are probably going to get to see some playtime too.
And man, then there was the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
And what a wild ride. It was something. So everybody, if you asked anyone going into this draft what we needed, they would say wide receiver. Now, this was a deep wide receiver class, right? You don't need one in the first round. You don't need one in the second round. Really, you don't need to draft one if you're the Green Bay Packers, because they didn't. They didn't draft a wide receiver. So we traded up from the 30th pick to the 26th pick, gave up a 4th rounder to take Jordan Love. So I mean, from what you told me about Jordan Love, right? I was like, it sounds like he'd actually fit pretty well in Green Bay, right?
I actually, like, when you guys drafted him, I was like, oh, that's exactly the situation I was talking about. That would be great for him.
Yeah. So when I heard that, I wasn't too upset. Like, the fans were like, what? But I was like, this is, it seems like a pretty ideal situation. I didn't want to trade up. Like, I didn't want to trade up 4 spots to do it and give up a 4th rounder where we probably could have drafted a wide receiver. But that was probably my biggest issue with the Packers draft, was how they drafted their players. So we took him 1st round. Then 2nd round, we draft A.J. Dillon, running back. So both our running backs are on their final year of their contract. So it's obvious this is, a move for that. Plus, I think they're going to do a 3 running back system, kind of like what the 49ers did with Breda, Coleman, and Mostert. So I think we're going to do the same thing, which I don't mind. It keeps everyone fresh. It keeps everyone on their feet. It's fine with me. But the guy was like mocked to be in the 3rd or 4th round, and we took him in the 2nd. So I was like, all right, well, we probably could have got him in the 3rd. Then Josiah DeGara, tight end, 3rd round pick, mocked to go in the 4th or 5th round. And it was clear they kind of panic drafted him because a tight end went before him. Belichick then traded up to get another tight end. And I think they were like, shit, tight ends are flying. So then they just picked him there. So I think a little bit of a reach there, but he honestly fits. He's kind of like the Kyle Jukovitz or whatever that we're trying. We're essentially building the 49ers is what we're doing, which I don't mind. I just think they could have done it better. So he's kind of like a hybrid tight end fullback. He's going to catch some balls out of the backfield. He's going to block. He's going to do a bunch of shit. So I don't mind that. I think it's good. Good for them. And then we took a linebacker, Kamal Martin, who's like a downhill run-stopping linebacker with some injury concerns. But that's kind of all he does. John Runyon, offensive line. Center, Jake Hansen. Offensive tackle, Simon Stepaniak. So we took 3 offensive linemen in a row, which I'm fine with. Offensive line, very good. And then Vernon Scott, safety. He's kind of like a hybrid safety linebacker, which is, we like to play those. And then an edge rusher in the 7th round as well. So no wide receivers. So that kind of sent everyone into a panic, being like, they're trying to get Aaron Rodgers out of here. When really, I don't think that's the case. Maybe I think they're trying to get him to play differently. I think that's what it is. Because going back to like 2 years ago, Mike McCarthy and all this stuff, we kept trying to pass the ball and it wasn't working. And then last year, Aaron Rodgers kept trying to, I don't think he was as accurate as he could have been. He missed a lot of throws. He held onto the ball long. Like, there were points where people were like, should we bench Aaron Rodgers? Like, I think people quickly forget about what they said in the past. Because when I was on Reddit threads and all that, people were very much like, I don't know if we should be playing Aaron Rodgers right now, guys. Like, I was like, so I think Aaron Rodgers is declining. I don't think it means he's bad. I think it means I think his peak years were like 2010 to maybe like 2014. And I think he's starting to hit the later years, kind of like how Peyton Manning kind of started going down. Like, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't, the Peyton Manning of old. And I think by building a team like he had in Denver, where you have more of the run, you pound the ball. And when you pound the ball, people start putting 8 in the box. And when you put 8 guys in the box, it opens up the play action. And then you get one-on-ones with like Devontae Adams. And really, in that situation, all you need is Devontae Adams. And it's like it. So you just run the ball, you throw to Adams, and then you get some tight ends that aren't Jimmy Graham. And there you go. Yeah. So I get what they're doing. They're trying to build a 49er offense, and I honestly like it more than our old offense because it's like I think it works better. I think teams have gotten so thin on the defense that now it should. I mean, it showed last year at the 49ers. They just run over you. Or even the Ravens. The Ravens would just run over you. Or the Titans would just pound into you and then wear you down. And then you're. So it's clear that type of system works. But I feel like people are like, why would we do that when we got Aaron Rodgers? And it's like, guys, he is getting older, right? Like, he's not the same Aaron that he was in the past. And at that, he would miss so many open guys. Like, they would show tape of him just, like, seeing Aaron Jones wide open, and he'd, like, force it downfield to nobody. Or he'd throw it away, or he'd take a sack. And it's like, what are you doing? So, I mean, getting a wide receiver, I don't think is going to help that, because he's the type of person that needs to build a rapport with people before he trusts them. And then when he trusts them, that's when he goes to them. So I think we still have a lot of wide receiver, right? We have Adams at the number 1, so we don't need a 1. But we signed Devin Funchess, who's like, he could be a 2 or a 3 if he just stays healthy. And then we got Equanimous St. Brown, who actually looked really good until he got injured last year. So, I mean, that's like another promising guy.
Great name.
Yeah, we have Valdez Scantling, who's like, you either improve this year or you get cut. You got, the James Kumaro, who's probably not going to make it, not going to lie. And then I feel like there's another, Lazard. The lizard, alien lizard, who actually showed a lot of promise and like made some really good plays and stuff that I think he can probably step in the number 2. So I think what they're banking on is a lot of these receivers he already has like passed to and built some chemistry with kind of take the next step. And they don't have to be like, Julio Jones or Adams or some shit. They just have to be a number 2. That's all you got to do is just get open sometimes. So I'm honestly, I don't mind the way they drafted. I just think they could have did it better.
Yeah. I mean, I was just checking over the cap. It looks like Rodgers is actually locked up in contract with you until he's 40. So
yeah,
you've got you guys have time to really make a decision. Plus, I mean, you picked up Jordan Love in the first round.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that he's got a 5th-year option available.
Mm-hmm.
So I think probably what's going to happen is they're going to give him at least probably a year or 2, to see if he is progressing at all. And if not, then you'll draft another quarterback eventually when Aaron Rodgers goes down. But if he is pretty good, then you can potentially trade Rodgers for some draft picks and start Love.
Yeah.
But I actually, to be honest, I think you might be pulling an Aaron Rodgers type situation where you're gonna sit Love for a while.
Oh yeah, I think they will.
Yeah,
like at least
kind of go at his own pace.
Yeah, like at least 2 years. I think part of the reason they did it is to kind of light the spark under Rodgers, because like I was saying earlier, he has his like mechanics are kind of off. He's gotten lazy. I think is what it boils down to. He's kind of gotten lazy, and I think they're hoping this kind of lights something under him, like reignites that kind of anger and passion to drive him. And, if it doesn't, he's not the type to, like, just ignore Jordan Love. Like, he went through this shit, so he knows how it feels. So he's not going to be like, get out of here, idiot. Like, this is my team. Like, he's going to help him out and be cool with him. So even all the Packer players were tweeting that because some guy was like, this could be a bad situation. They all tweeted it being like, you don't even know, like, Aaron Rodgers. You're just some guy. Like, so they were kind of roasting him.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers hangs out with the hottest chicks, the dopest dudes.
Wears the freshest clothes.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening.
He was on Game of Thrones, for God's sake.
The NFL Network had Steve Smith, and Steve Smith was actually making a good point where he said, you look down the draft, and you know you're not going to get a guy like Lawrence next year, right? So like if you look at the quarterback class for the next couple of years and you don't really like anyone, you may as well just take the one you want now and not miss out on it, right?
Yeah.
So like they're taking the chance there, and you let him sit behind Rodgers. Plus, if Rodgers goes down, which he has before, like concussions, collarbone injuries, like you now have a guy where you're like, oh, he at least has potential to like get us to the next level, instead of being like the Eagles where Wentz goes down, Foles isn't there, and you're like, well, we lose. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think that's also very important. 'Cause people forget, like he's still 36 and he's been through injuries. Like it's not unlikely that he could get another injury. So
Like I'm obviously no expert, and I'm also I'm not. I'm probably pretty certain that my QB evaluations aren't worth anything. However, um, from the stuff that I was seeing from Jordan Love looked like he was like this is the exact type of situation that I thought would be perfect for him, which is that he gets to sit and learn, especially behind like a veteran, and if it's a good veteran, even better. And he's got Aaron fucking Rodgers, dude. Like that's great. And
yeah,
he's got like serious potential to be quite good, in my opinion,
yeah,
because he's naturally he's gifted with accuracy, and it's one of those things that I don't see a lot of QBs getting that much more accurate over time. It doesn't happen that often. It happened with Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
But
You guys should play him.
yeah. Maybe. It's actually interesting because I was reading everything about him, and it was pretty much everything you said. And they're like, well, the biggest things are he makes some bad decisions. You know, he doesn't like draw the safeties away with his eyes. And it was funny because I remember Aaron Rodgers talked like 8 or 9 years ago about learning from Brett Favre, and he is like, one of the biggest things I learned was like leading the safeties away with my eyes. And so
right.
it's like clearly he's gonna get taught that like very quickly. And so a lot of these things he's not good at can be learned, which arm strength and being able to make crazy ass throws are not something you can learn.
Right, exactly.
For the most part. So I mean, I still think it's a good pick. I know a lot of people just don't want change. A lot of people don't want to move on. I mean, I remember back when Brett Favre was still here and people made like, BrettFavre.com to like have a petition to be like, the Packers are destroying the thing. If you could look into the future, you'd obviously be like, ooh, a Super Bowl and many wins. Okay, maybe I'll reconsider. So, I mean, I think I'm fine with it. I don't think it's a bad pick. Plus, they're just kind of changing their style, everything. I mean, again, I feel like they probably could have gotten a better value for their picks overall. Like they could have maybe gotten some guys around later. They could have not traded down 4 picks to get them because they were scared and stuff like that. But I mean, who knows? Maybe the Colts were trying to trade up to get him and other things like that. You don't know.
Yeah.
And they're not going to admit it now. Be like, oh yeah, we were trying to trade up guys, and they just like they're just going to be like, no,
exactly what we were doing.
Got us, damn.
Dude, honestly, like that's the saddest part of the draft is there's so much like strategy and fuckery and like deception and shit that they're all pulling at each other like privately. They got to figure out a way to monetize that, man, because I want to see it. Like I want to see like. You want to see them having like golf commentary over like ooh, it looks like Cliff Kingsbury's about to get fleeced on this one here. I just want to. That would be so fun.
Yeah, you like hear them answering calls, just like, oh, hey, and they're just like talking, like you hear their conversations and stuff, like, oh, we are considering wide receiver, and we have been, as you know, and then in the back of their mind, they're just like, they cut back, like, yeah, we're not taking a fucking wide receiver.
I got the impression that Rob really misses his voice effects while he was doing that.
I really do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could probably get an app.
You probably could.
If you do a podcast in an all auto tune app, that's just we're done. I can't do it anymore.
And because I mean, I think a lot of people are also mad because there's Patrick Queen available as like a linebacker, and we need an inside linebacker. So a lot of people are like, you're drafting the future instead of the present, but the people also say these things because they just hear some guy on TV say it or some guy write about it. Like they don't actually know anything. You haven't sat there watching Patrick Queen footage for like days.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
You're literally like, Mel Kiper said that he's a good guy, and I watched one game and he looked good, so we should have taken him. Like,
dude, actually, by the way, this is a minor autofellatio, but I was pleased that this year I didn't consume like any draft content. There were some other things going on in the world that I was concerned. So I haven't. So I wasn't.
Like
I wasn't
what, Rob?
So I haven't been watching. But when I heard those guys talking about the QBs, I was like, That's the kind of shit that I was saying about that guy. Maybe this job ain't so hard, fellas. Get paid millions of dollars. I watched 2 games. I said all the same shit you did.
It's yeah. I mean, the big thing with this is it's like it's a lottery almost. It's like gambling. You're just making your best educated guess of like, this guy showed the most promise and likely won't be a bust, but he could be a bust. It's happened on like every draft. There's a guy who's like, oh, this guy's gonna dominate the league, and then he's terrible.
Yeah,
Like-
dude, that's not just like every draft, like almost every pick. Like the majority of picks don't pan out. I mean, the vast majority. And I think even I think the first round is your best odds of getting like a sustained starter, and even that is like something like 6 and 10 out of the top 10 picks. So it's like it's pretty bad, you know.
It's why, like, I was just curious because people be like, I said this would be a good pick situation, blah, blah. And I was like, I want to see what these people said about other players. So I Googled, or I went into Reddit, and I looked up old players from, like, previous drafts. One was Josh Jones. Garbage player, not even on the team, like, 3 years later. Everyone was like, I saw this guy play at Iowa. And just unbelievable tape, but he's going to fit right in.
Is that you?
So it's like I would go back and read some, or like I was like, what about wide receivers? Let's see what they said about some of it. One was Jamon Moore. We got him in like the 5th or 6th round. One guy was like, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's a Pro Bowler like next year. He wasn't on the team a year later. Like,
Jamon Moore.
Yeah, it's, you know, people, you don't know anything. I trust the people that have their jobs on the line to draft these people.
I should also mention that you shouldn't necessarily trust them either, because similar to the story that Grindor just told, we had a GM that drafted Christian Hackenberg in the 2nd round. So,
well, that's also true.
Sometimes Reddit knows more than the GMs.
That's true. I guess my main point is we shouldn't be overly excited and we shouldn't be overly upset.
Correct. Yeah.
It's more of like, hey, we'll see how this works out, and hopefully it works out well. Like that's pretty much the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically like any scenario.
Yeah, but it's not a fun scenario. It's got to be. It's got to be fun. It's got to be extremisms. Like, this guy wasn't on my big board mock draft. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I don't hate it. I just think it could have been a little better. But what are you gonna do?
How would you rate? How would you score the Packers? The Packers scorecard, coach. The report card.
I'd give it probably like a C+, B-. Like, it wasn't. I don't think it was terrible. I don't think, but it wasn't amazing or anything.
I was thinking C, probably. Maybe B-.
It really just depends on they work out, because it feels like they had their own. Like, every team has their own board, right? So they don't give a shit about Mel Kiper's big board. They have their own thing with like needs and stuff. So, I mean, if it works out, that means they just had a really good board. And I mean, on their board, they might be like, oh, we got an A. We got all the players we wanted. But, maybe they didn't. Maybe these are just guys they had to pick because the ones they want weren't there and they didn't have a good board. So, I mean, I'd probably say like a C+. Like, without bias, I'd probably say a C+. But with the bias, I'm like, I could see it being a B-.
Well, there you go. And I give the Bucks a solid A.
Nice. It's
an E for effort.
That is nice. So I mean, we'll see how it pans out. I mean, what do they say? It's 3 years. It takes 3 years to evaluate a draft.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, again, much like a lot of other football, it's all crapshoot in the end. Some picks can be the greatest of all time, some picks can't.
I mean, it's one of those. You go back, like I was even just going back a few years to the Mitchell Trubisky draft, right? Everyone's like, Mitch Trubisky, like Pat Mahomes. Like 10 teams passed on Pat Mahomes, and I looked at those teams, and every one of those teams would love Pat Mahomes right now. Right? Yeah. But at the time, you're just like, I don't know, this guy's going to work out, whatever. But, then you hindsight it. I mean, it could be the situation. You look back and be like, dude, I wish we took Jordan Love. Oh, my God, that would have been a bit. Like, you don't know.
Remember remember even just 2 drafts ago, freaking Josh Rosen, 10th overall pick. The motherfucker is basically a hobo now. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck happened, man?
Well, to be fair, he has some bad luck.
He did,
But
he did kind of get like completely railroaded by the entire process, the system, I would say.
yeah. It's like if we look back at that, was it 2017, 2018? 2017 NFL. Oh yeah, it was 2017. 2018.
That's 2018, yeah.
2018.
So long ago. It seems like, yeah.
It was Baker, Saquon, Sam Darnold, Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson, Josh Allen, Roquan Smith, Mike McGlinchey, Josh Rosen, Minka Fitzpatrick, Vita Vea. So you look at the list, like a lot of those guys worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like looking through, but I mean, I guarantee if you like scroll down here into like the second and third rounds, like you just see people who if you're in the second or third round, you have like a lot of potential to be a starter. Like they're banking on you being a starter, but like Packers took Josh Jackson. It's okay. It's probably going to get cut. You look at some of these other guys. Fred Warner was the third round for the 49ers, and he's been really good linebacker. Like, legit really good. Mason Rudolph was in the third round. Never thought we'd have a lot of Mason Rudolph coverage, but here we are.
Yeah, he never got any attention for anything.
Yeah, never.
Nope.
But I mean, you can look through like a bunch of these and you'll see like, oh, like this guy doesn't play, this guy's out of the league, this guy doesn't do anything, this guy's useless. But then you get to like some of these guys, you're like, oh, that guy is a role player. Like the thing is, if a guy's a role player even, that's still pretty good. Like if he's still only special teams or, it comes in like once every 4 downs, like you're still helping the team.
Dude, not everybody's Julio Jones. There's only like, what?
There's only one Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's a good point. But I mean, there's what? Like, I mean, like, probably tops 5 or 6 like star players on any given like very good team, right? Like everybody else is a role player.
Talking about most players.
Yeah. most of them aren't going to the Hall of Fame. Like the like even on the list of like draftees that you were reading out, and we said most of those guys worked out. 10 years from now, probably read that list and be like, oh yeah, I remember him. He was pretty good. Like we say that they worked out now, but that's because they did. I mean, they're players on teams. Like that's good. But they eventually then will be like, oh yeah, he was just another guy type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, even like out of all these people, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 made the Pro Bowl out of hundreds. And like most of those are like first rounds, like Saquon. But I mean, some are like Mark Andrews, 3rd round from Baltimore, tight end. Like Michael Dickerson, the punter for Seattle. Like Darius Leonard, 2nd round. Like Darius Leonard became like an all-pro, like amazing linebacker. Dude was like 2nd round, and everyone's like, I don't know about him. So I mean, you don't know. You don't know, man. But
nobody knows in the end.
Nobody knows.
It's like trying to predict the weather. Unless it was raining outside, you don't know.
I mean, you're probably getting wet if it's raining.
Yep. Yeah. That's the follow-up for sure.
All right. Well, I think that's about all we got for the draft show. So I mean, now we can just wait and hope there's the season.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to see football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Be neat.
Final predictions on. I mean, we didn't even talk about Jameis, but who cares about Jameis?
Oh yeah, Jameis Winston's with the Saints. Did you know? Fun fact: Jameis Winston has thrown more picks to the Saints than what's his name, the backup quarterback, has thrown passes.
Taysom Hill,
Taysom Hill. It's pretty neat, isn't it?
Honestly, it's more surprising that he really has only thrown 7 times.
Yeah,
like that's just wild.
It's pretty crazy.
I cannot wait. Can you imagine what will happen if if God forbid Drew Brees, something happens to Brees, which I mean, of course I don't. I mean, I like Drew Brees, but as someone who absolutely hates the Saints, I hope he never plays again. And they put Winston in, and he throws a pick six to the Bucks. Do you realize how much gold that's going to provide us for the rest of the whatever the season is left? It's going to be insane, Rob.
He comes in and destroys the Buccaneers on his rampage.
That would be hilarious. Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
Would also be hilarious, and also like I'd still hope that he got run over by a horse buggy afterwards.
Yeah.
Final predictions on what? Give us your overall like over under percentages that you think we're going to have a season for this next upcoming season, Rob.
Ooh, I mean, it's got to start August and
just a season. Just we have some sort of season.
Oh, considering what I know of what's happening in the actual world, probably not. Like, it's like we're gonna come up on the NFL season starts, when people start getting sick again. So, yay!
We need a solid percentage chance, Rob.
Oh, I'm gonna give it I'll give it. I think there's a 45% chance. Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna say there's a 60% chance we have a season.
All right,
fair.
10.
All right, Coach.
I'm gonna put it at 75 because I think Jerry Jones on his yacht where he was making his picks will himself fund the testing to test every player so that he can in fact have an NFL season so he can have his Cowboys be Yeehaw Cowboys.
I don't even think that's how they would do it. I think if they're gonna have a season, they're just gonna pretend that Corona isn't a thing and let their fans die because money.
No, I think they'll play in front of empty stadiums. Like they're not gonna play in front of stadiums.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah,
that'll be creepy as hell.
Because the biggest thing,
really
right,
would.
is it's not even ticket sales. It's TV deals, right? That's all they want is the TV deals. So if they just test the players like weekly and they just keep everyone whatever, like that's gonna be the biggest thing is just testing and quarantining people to get tested and then like playing for TV, not in front of fans.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I gotta say, I'm gonna throw off all any and all percentages. I'm going for the absolute 100% lock. We're gonna have a season.
Oh no, he locked it.
Fuck, 100% in.
Oh my God.
We've got ourselves a football season, Bear. It's a new season. The Invicta lock curse is no longer.
I'm going to change my guess to 0.
That's fair. I'll accept it.
10 to 0, Coach. That's all right.
Yeah.
No problem. I can't wait to show the doubters who's wrong. And I can't wait to see the Bucks play, Coach. Go Bucks. Looking forward to this season, Rob.
Oh, dude, what would be fucking hilarious is if they cancel the NFL season and then Tom Brady retires.
I was just going to say that, and I was going to say I will respect the fact that Invicta honored my emotions regarding Brady's departure. And I won't make fun of the fact that you didn't get to experience even a single moment.
Oh no, I've already made that prediction. I already made the prediction that what's going to happen is the season's going to get canceled. Brady's going to thank everybody, and then that's it. But that was that was before he got signed. It was just a rumor, and that was before it came out that he had a multi-year contract. But with a 2-year contract, I have faith. But even if he doesn't, even if that never happens, I'm just happy to be here and to experience what it was like to have a quarterback for one half postseason.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
locked in, Coach. I locked it in.
Thank you for the lock. That's bad luck. So thank you for watching, listening, everybody. Join the Discord. I'll put a link in the description, probably if I remember. And subscribe, hit the notification, follow all the stuff. And I guess we'll see you in a few months to talk about the preseason or to talk about no season.
All right.
So we'll see you then.
Rob stole my bit.
Well, Give it back.
Bye.
Give it back to him.
See
Get
ya.
back,
I will
Rob.
not.
Dun-dun-dun.
I refuse.
Oh god. All right, don't let him get Crave. We're stopping.
Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun.